So if you're watching a football match, you've not got to the ad breaks yet. What are the brands that you're seeing and experiencing in and around that? That's all, you know, the pitch side hoarding is what the players have got on the shirts, and there are some values associated with all of that. I think you know, that has increased significantly in terms of what people are prepared to pay for a logo placement, which is essentially what it is. I think if you looked at the amount of money that has gone into sport as an industry over the last 30 to 40 years, and you compared it, if one could ever do this, to all other global industry segments, whether that's, you know, mining or retail or whatever, I think you would probably see that as a percentage increase, the level of turnover in the sports business has probably increased more than, if not very close to, you know, in the top 5 of all industries globally in the last 30 years, as a percentage, because sports has sold itself incredibly well. People want to watch it, people emotionally connect with it, and that's where the value is. I think we must be getting to near the top of that rise, because what you're now starting to see is there are so many brands in there. So Premier League football, as an example, has started to not just sell the front of your shirt to a brand, they'll sell the left sleeve, and they'll sell, okay, you're not our match day shirt sponsor, you're our practice shirt sponsor. So they'll sell to organisation ABC for running around on a Saturday, and they'll sell to organisation XYZ for running around on the practice field on a Tuesday and a Thursday. So they're segmenting it so much that, you know, there is inherently some value in it to somebody. The question I always have, which is the challenge I always have with Wimbledon, is how do I actually create a connection that is sufficient, that it's not just I recognise the brand, but it's that I'm making an emotional connection to an extent that I'm prepared to investigate that brand and ultimately spend some money with that brand. That's quite hard to do, particularly if you're in a B2B environment. So a lot of if you think of Champions League football, a lot of the brands that you see, they're very good at, they sell the Champions League as a product end to end and add slots that go with it. So you get your beer sponsor, and you get your car sponsor, and you get your financial services sponsor, and those are the ads you always see if you're watching. That starts to build brand awareness. How that translates into uplift in terms of, you know, revenue, I'm sure they've done all the numbers on it. But ultimately, as a marketeer and as an advertising person, what you're trying to do with paying for that placement wherever it is create an emotional connection that results in an action, that action ultimately to result in a purchase, whatever it is you're purchasing.